Sling TV has something for everyone. It really just depends on what kind of mood you're in. But no matter what you're looking for, you can watch it with Sling. Sports, news, and today's hottest shows. Plus, you can explore thousands of movies and TV shows on demand. And getting Sling is easy. Sign up and start watching in just 5 minutes. Stream on any device and record up to 50 hours with your included DVR space. Plus, you won't get locked into a long-term contract. Check out sling.com for special offers. Sling, the TV you love for a price you'll love. Try it today. Welcome to the Andy Staples Show, presented by Sling. It is the Bowl Picks Extravaganza, part two. Nicole Auerbach is back with us. Nicole, I am so disappointed. If I'd have known where you'd be broadcasting from, I would have included the Music City Bowl in this set of picks. But we're only going up through the games of next Thursday, really, because I want to have some games to talk about before the playoff games, because we can't just base the pick show around 2 games. But also, you are in a basement.
Mm-hmm.
You've not been kidnapped. This is the basement belonging to your boyfriend's parents.
Yes.
There is a shrine to Iowa football.
Is that Kinnick right there?
Yes. Hold on. That's stadium. In this corner behind the bike is a bunch of newspaper covers of Iowa football being good. I already checked. Unfortunately, no Scott Dockerman bylines. Unfortunately, they're all written by his competitors.
Whose prison jumpsuit is that on the exercise bike?
I think those are towels.
Oh,
okay. Sweat.
Can you read us the sign below the Kinnick panoramic shot, please?
Yes. Okay. So it says man cave. The rules are my cave, my rules. No cyclone spoken here. Do not waste beer. Black and gold attire only. And this is where there is no off season. So I am definitely in college football country, right outside of Iowa City. I think that subconsciously you wanted to keep this Iowa-Kentucky game with the playoff games because it is equally important to you, Andy. So I will continue to believe that. And oh yes, okay, look at this. We've got somebody else.
This is Vaughn. Vaughn is an Iowan. He watches the show while on his tractor. I hope you are not on your tractor now, Vaughn. I hope you are inside and safe.
So cold. Vaughn says it's -20 with -50 wind chill where he is. And yes, we lost Proctor, starting a third-string quarterback, 2 receivers left in the portal. Tight end just had a knee scope. Morale couldn't be lower. Give me the under in the Iowa game. Where I am just outside of Iowa City, it is currently -8 degrees. Feels like -33 degrees. I don't think I've ever been in weather like this. I have been in those like bomb cyclones and whatever else we called these things, but this is a new low in terms of legitimate frigid cold weather.
Right. You are from New Jersey. You went to college in Michigan and you live on a Great Lake currently and have never been this cold.
Nope.
That's saying something.
I feel terrible for the dogs that we have in the house, which we have to let them go out and they sprint out, pee, come right back in. And then they are like, it takes 5 minutes for them to warm up. So I feel terrible for the animals.
Well, let's warm ourselves up by picking some games. These games not all take place in warm weather either. So we're rolling through chronologically. We're going to go through the games of next Thursday, and we don't have really any clue who's going to win in these games. If you bet your money based on something we say, well, I just feel bad for you. Mostly Nicole, you weren't here for last week's show, but it basically is me and Ari trying to decipher what each bowl sponsor actually does.
Okay. Did you get the wasabi one wrong? Because I did.
Yes. I thought it was for sushi.
I also thought it was for something sushi related. That was one of the more disappointing names of a bowl game to not be.
But I think that was the most effective one because now I know that wasabi is an online storage cloud situation. Now I don't know that I'm ever going to use it or if the people watching it are, but if I ever have a need for online storage space in the cloud.
Look at all this free earned media right now.
That's exactly right. Well, that's why we are going to have our own bowl game next year. That's why we have to have our own bowl game next year, because it's just really buying brand awareness.
It is. Wait, so are we buying it as the Andy Staples show? Like the ASS?
Well, it's going to be called the Grab Ass Bowl.
Okay. Sponsored by ASS.
Yes, the Ass Grab Ass Bowl.
There will be periods in between the A and S and S.
In the Bahamas. We're taking the Bahamas Bowl.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't think you can have 2 Bahamas Bowls, so I just wanted to check that we would be taking it over.
We actually may just stage it the day before the actual Bahamas Bowl and not tell anybody.
Okay.
Do you think anybody would notice?
Do you think we would need to have teams playing in it though? We've
already discussed that.
I wish that we could have a bowl game where it features the 2 funniest negative stories like of the year. So this year, like Iowa's offense would be in it versus North Carolina's defense. Like that would be the best bowl that you could come up with.
It's like
right?
rock versus a hard place. Yeah, that would be. We should do that. Do you think we could do that though? What if some of those teams, like Iowa's actually bowl eligible?
I mean, honestly, if you think
Carolina
about
is actually bowl eligible, it'd be funnier if we took teams that were not bowl eligible and gave them.
If they get automatic bids for having the worst offense and the worst defense in the college football, that is literally the equation and the recipe that you'll find in Grandma's handbook for a grab ass. So like that.
Do they have to actually be bowl eligible, or can we take the APR team?
I think they should not be bowl eligible. That's how we get in this system. We sneak in the back door, and that's how we know the teams are available.
So
we'd have people tanking for the grab ass bowl.
It'd be amazing. It would be amazing. But
Miami versus Nebraska.
If you don't make the Grab Ass Bowl, you might make the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl like the Louisiana Raging Cajuns and the Houston Cougars did. Radiance Technologies. All right, Ari. Any guess as to what they do?
The first thing I thought about was like advanced medical software in the cancer industry research industry.
I am on their website reading where it says our capabilities. Radiance Technologies delivers innovative solutions for defense, intelligence, and civilian customers' advanced challenges. We bring together people with remarkable technical abilities and deep knowledge of customer missions, then equip them with modern laboratories, tools, and facilities. Translation: we do Black Ops.
I also thought this was going to be in the healthcare space.
What's so funny is that like that description right there is how I talk when I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just a bunch of big words. Yeah, I didn't get any of that.
It sounds like Gene Ralphio describing Entertainment 720 on Parks and Recreation. But instead, if it were a defense contractor
or anyone in finance explaining what their job is when you go to a bar in New York City, that's exactly what it's just garbled words.
Reading this, though, the defense and intelligence piece of it, it reminds me of that scene in Independence Day where they get to Area 51 and Judd Hirsch goes to Jeff Goldblum. He's like, you didn't really think they spent $1 million on every toilet seat, did you? These are the people who are giving that money to. And now they're sponsoring the Independence Bowl. I mean, it's no Poulet Weed Eater, but I guess if somebody has to sponsor you.
How many of these bowls are sponsored by like defense contractors?
Not all, but the armed forces.
Is it actually a defense contractor? Is that really what this is?
I believe that is part of their work.
We're going to be picking the First Responders Bowl, right? Because I have some thoughts on that one. Okay.
We are. And it's no longer Serve Pro.
What? Okay, that was my actual favorite sponsor because that was
never happened.
That got canceled. Like it never happened. It was perfect.
Exactly. So let's talk about this game. Clayton Tune and Tank Dell, they're 7-point favorites. Dana Holgerson about to lead the Cougars into the Big 12. Their final game as an American Athletic Conference team. The Raging Cajuns went 6-6. Still running basically the same offense they ran under Billy Napier, but not as well. Who we got?
Do you think it's funny that a team that's leaving the American is playing in the Independence Bowl, or am I the only one who thinks that's funny?
But they're not independent.
It might have been a little bit too on the nose if it was BYU, but yes, I do enjoy that. I'm going with Clayton Tune and company. I mean, he's so fun. He's so productive. I think they'll be motivated. This is the hardest part about picking bowl games is trying to figure out who's motivated, who wants to play in the game. I think
in the Grab Ass Bowl, nobody's going to be motivated. That's the thing. Like if you're motivated, you're not invited. So like this is
that's why they shouldn't be bowl eligible.
My favorite thing in the entire world, like especially like in the real gambling world where I'm trying to actually make plays, like I'm on Air Force tonight as we're recording this. So for the live people, is the description of why is it's like -30 degrees where they're playing. they're running the triple option and Air Force actually wants to be there. It's like, I like how people are just diagnosing which teams actually want to be there or not. Like,
Baylor
part
also
of the
very run heavy and probably would be happy if they didn't throw. So
also, I mean, Dave Aranda is coordinating the defense in this game. Like, picking
Ron
up the
Roberts
option. I would not want.
I think morale at Baylor is kind of low right now.
Yeah, it was by all accounts disappointing season. So I think you have to, like, to me, this is why the Florida game and opening weekend of bowl season was the most obvious pick out of anything.
Sure.
Yeah. So you do have to, I think motivation is most of the battle. Who actually wants to win the game? Who has been preparing and cares about winning the game?
And you think Houston would care more?
I think this game is probably more similar, right?
I think after a sterling 17-year career at Houston, Clayton Tune wants to go out on a good note.
Yeah. I think Clayton Tune, don't you think? I think he would want to finish it on a high note. And I just think, you look at the game and it looks, what's the line in this game?
7.
I should be looking at the thing.
7.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
you're laying a touchdown in the I don't give a crap.com bowl. So like, go ahead, let me know how that works out for you.
I don't think you should be referring to something that could be contracted by the government as that.
Right.
I'd be careful.
Yeah, that's why
this is in Shreveport too. So can we talk about home turf and the importance of defending your state? Is that part of this?
Okay, that's fair.
That's a very different part of Louisiana than Lafayette.
I know, and I know Louisiana gets really different in different
areas. It's like two different planets.
There's casinos in Shreveport. They're probably just all going to want to leave early so they can hit the tables before midnight.
There you go. There's a Fuddruckers in one of those casinos too.
What?
How do you know that?
Because I've eaten there.
Dude, we drove through there a month and a half ago. You didn't say anything?
I did say we had a 5-minute conversation about it.
We did? Why didn't we go?
Because we were going to Oxford and we needed to get to Oxford and stopping.
Ari, have you not gone
to? Horseshit read on both of our parts.
Have you not been to, like, do they not have Fuddruckers in Texas?
No, but I can look up the locations.
Okay.
I haven't eaten Fuddrucker since I was 14 years old. I think my bar mitzvah just ended. So
I think it's gone downhill. All right. Moving on, Wake Forest versus Missouri in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. Now, Gasparilla, for those of you who've never, no, that's sarsaparilla. Gasparilla, for those of you who never lived in Tampa, as I have, a fine celebration of when the Pirates landed on the west coast of Florida. Basically, an excuse to have a mini Mardi Gras. It's spectacular. That's not what's going on here. But I appreciate that they brought that into the game. It's being sponsored by a mortgage company. There's a lot of mortgage companies here. And if your mortgage company does well enough, you can buy an NBA team is the lesson here.
Dude, there's so many Fuddruckers locations in Texas and none are in Dallas.
Sounds like an opportunity for you to open one. What else are you doing this offseason?
I'm opening up a Bennigan's, actually. There's one opening in Pakistan, so I'm going to open one here in Dallas.
Yeah, that was a lot of the conversation on the post-signing day show. People mad because we didn't mention that Tennessee had a good class.
Yeah, I had a lot of that too with the post winners and losers column.
Let me explain something to everybody. Like, this used to be a cliche, but apparently nobody knows this anymore. Dog bites man, not news. Man bites dog, news. Tennessee has good recruiting class after having good recruiting class for the entirety of the cycle with no surprises, no late additions, no late subtractions is not news and therefore not interesting.
Yes. And also, people need to stop complaining when things are good and they don't get enough compliments. That's just like a separate thing. I mean, because
for Tennessee's case, I'd probably want to be basking in the sun right now a little bit. It's been a long decade for them.
Beat Clemson in the Orange Bowl and bask all you want.
Well, yeah, in the actual Orange Bowl, sponsored by the color orange.
Exactly.
That is going to be a lot of fun. But no, I think that's Ari, if you believe that they deserve to be basking in the sun more, then you can go write about them and they can bask in the sun a little bit more. Can we talk about the Gasparilla Bowl, though?
If you care about it, then you go write about it.
Well, you just said that.
Wake Forest is a 2-point favorite against Missouri. Is this Sam Hartman's last game as a Demon Deacon?
Probably.
Is he going to the NFL or some other school?
We don't know for sure, right? I would think NFL.
Don't. I think so too.
I would say that he wants to go out on a high note. We were just talking about that with Clayton Tune. think also Wake Forest did not have the season that they wanted or the season that they started out having. I think you could really pin it all on that third quarter against Louisville where everything turned into a turnover and the season just derailed from there. They lost 4 of their last 5 games. This was a team that there were really high expectations for coming into the season. And I just think that they will want to finish this out strong. We have also seen Sam Hartman have one of his 2 most disastrous games in a bowl game. So do have a little bit of concern after the long layover. But I just think Mizzou was kind of the opposite. I mean, they had to win their final 2 games to even become bowl eligible. I've not been that impressed with the bottom half of the SEC this year. So I would lean Wake here, even though, you know, neither of these teams necessarily inspires a ton of confidence.
I really liked Brady. Brady Cook had a nice game against Arkansas to close things out. Bush Hamden was calling the plays toward the end of the season for Mizzou. He has now moved on to become the offensive coordinator at his alma mater, Boise State. So this probably goes back to Drink for play calling. We'll see what happens. I do think Sam Hartman, if this is his last game at Wake Forest, they're going to be playing pretty hard in this game, and I'd like to see this. So
you see this comment from Daniel McDougal here. Throw it up there for a second. A gambling tip from me, if you want one. If a team has a season where they're like way out of character good, like if they win, like Indiana was a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
like Wake Forest was last year.
Crazy.
The next year, the win total is always inflated by 2 wins, and just hit the like. If Kansas's win total next year is like 7.5. Like I would hammer the under on that just because it's so hard to maintain these seasons.
Wake Forest was, I think, as good as their record last year. They should have been better this year. Like the drop off was bad, and I really do think it turned in that Louisville game, in a game that they inexplicably just like Sam Hartman had a nightmare quarter and couldn't not turn the ball over. So I don't know. To me, like this is a disappointing team, not because they overachieved last year, but that they should have been much closer to where they were last year.
Yeah, I think you're trying to end this on a good note. My guess is Wake is pretty motivated. I'm gonna take Wake, especially if they only got to win by 2. Let us move on to Christmas Eve, the Hawai'i Bowl. Middle Tennessee State against Brady Hoke and San Diego State. In Hawaii, the Easy Post Hawai'i Bowl. What do we think Easy Post does?
You pronounce Hawaii correctly, and it makes my skin crawl.
Hawaii?
You say it the right way. You say it like the people who live on the island and forgetting Sarah Marshall say it.
Louisville, Hawaii.
I have also tried to say Louisville correctly, and people get on me. I'm like, listen, do you know how mad that people get about that? Okay, Easy Post, I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, is the stuff that you get at the post office, like the box already prepared, and you put your stuff in it, and then you mail it.
So it is actually the shipping API. So it's the app or the back end software that allows you to ship things in a more efficient manner.
Okay, I think that's different, but I was close.
It's close.
You got the word post in there. I was thinking of like lights, like a light post.
No, it's confusing. This could be.
You want to talk about happy to be there? Who do you think is going to be more happy to be near the beach, Middle Tennessee State or San Diego State? I'm taking the points here just for that reason. One team's going to be fired up to be in paradise, and the other one already lives in paradise.
Yeah, Murfreesboro, basically ex-urban Nashville versus you already live in San Diego.
So wait, Ari, you're saying you're taking the team that is happy to be there?
The team that was
Middle Tennessee State
that's fired up to be in the near the ocean. And Murfreesboro, is that how you say it?
That is not how you say it.
Murfreesboro.
I can't pronounce that word.
Exacerbate.
He is emphasizing the wrong syllable.
That's right.
What is the right way to say it?
Murfreesboro.
That's where people stay when they can't afford to stay in the Gulch.
Right?
Oh,
good Lord. I mean, you probably don't have to drive all the way down there. You could probably stay like Cool Springs.
But that's where the Fairfield Inns are 109 a night, whereas, a little closer to Nashville. But like way to reduce a proud town to isn't that's where the hotels are.
I think we should move on, Andy, before Ari continues to insult.
What? I'm not insulting anybody. I used to stay there when I was in my 20s, and I used to go down there, and I went there for a story once, and I stayed there.
We moved, speaking of pronouncing cities, we moved to lovely Detroit, home of the Quick Lane Bowl. And let me add something here, bowl sponsors. If you'd like us to use your names more often, just name the bowl after you.
That is a problem with the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
The Outback Bowl was the lexicon. Like, it was part of the lexicon, and now it just sounds wrong.
That's a Band-Aid Jello situation, though.
I really hate
it
that
still
one.
is the Outback Bowl.
No,
well, it's not.
No, it is in my head. It is.
Right, but
I've needed people to say it's the bowl formerly known as the Outback Bowl.
It's still the same. It's like San Diego Chargers. They're still the San Diego Chargers to me.
All right, so what is Quick Lane, everybody?
It's a oil change place.
Yes, actually, very easy to explain. Very easy.
Good name. A good
I would
name.
do Quick Lube if that were naming the business, but Quick Lane's
there already is Jiffy Lube.
I know. Where would you rather go? Quick Lube or Jiffy Lube?
You want to confuse them? You want to gain customers by confusion? That's
Quick Lane could be like a speed bowling.
I was gonna say it could be bowling. It could be like you pay for the hour. Well, actually, some bowling places do that, so you can play as many rounds as you can get in an hour. Maybe that's what we should do. We should just open businesses inspired by bowl sponsors.
Yes, inspired by what we think they should be doing based on their names and not what they actually do. I like it. So, New Mexico State is in a bowl game. New Mexico State's in a bowl game.
Bowling Green's in a bowl game too.
And Bowling Green's in a bowl game.
That's right.
These teams are happy to be here, even though they're in Detroit and it's very cold. As someone who is currently in feels like minus 33 degrees temperatures in
if you have
Iowa.
The name bowling and you're playing in a bowl, do you automatically get the play?
I probably. Now, listen, Jerry Kill coaches New Mexico State. He's a MAC legend. So does he get that cred when he walks back into MAC territory?
Do we call this MACtion, you mean?
It kind of is MACtion. It's a MAC team against a Jerry Kill coach
playing
team.
in Detroit, heart of MAC territory. I think it counts as MACtion. I'm gonna take Bowling Green here.
All right.
In part because Ari did make the point that they do say that they are bowling in their school name. And also, you know what?
Some Southwestern team that runs into Detroit and beats a MAC team in Detroit.
Yeah, I think that would be tough. And I also think that Scott Loeffler's team has been very up and down, but when they've been up, they've been pretty solid.
Well,
so I'll take
we do remember them beating Toledo that night, don't we, Ari?
We sure do.
All right. Let us move to lovely.
Thanks for bringing that up again. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It was one of the great moments in show history. We moved to lovely Montgomery, Alabama. Clay Helton brings Georgia Southern to the Camellia Bowl, which does not have a sponsor. It's an ESPN owned and operated bowl. It is there strictly for television inventory. Ari and Nicole, imagine it is 2018. Clay Helton's USC team has just beaten Washington State early in the season. True freshman JT Daniels, who has reclassified from the class of 2019 so that he could start as a true freshman at USC in 2018, is playing very well. He's averaged 9.3 yards per attempt against the Cougars in a win. You walk up to Clay Helton and say, Clay, at the end of 2022, you will be coaching Georgia Southern. After getting Scott Frost fired at Nebraska, you will be coaching Georgia Southern against Buffalo in Montgomery, Alabama, and JT Daniels will be about to go start for Rice. What do you think he says to you?
How big was my buyout?
Yeah, I feel like the right question is, am I a happier person in this job?
And the answer is yes. The answer is a definite yes.
But him being happy and nice is never a problem, right?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, isn't his quality of life better having had the
100%.
season he's had at Georgia Southern versus
no opt-outs either, which means the team's bought in. Good chemistry.
Yeah.
No draft picks.
This is Maurice Lindquist at Buffalo. One of the names you heard in the coaching carousel this year. You're going to hear it a lot more going forward. So this could be fun. I'm taking the Eagles.
Me too.
Happy to be there. Clay Helton's very happy to be there because I don't think the last few years at USC were all that happy. So
I agree. And I also think that the location of this game goes against what we were just saying about MACtion and kind of its identity. Buffalo, MAC team, even had a game rescheduled due to snow. Like, this is just, you're totally out of your element in Alabama. I think I'm going to have to lean with the team that literally says, like, they're in the southern part of the country. Georgia Southern.
I'm going to take Georgia Southern as well. And we are going to take a break. When we come back, more bowl games, more sponsors, more everything. It is Bowl Picks Extravaganza Part 2. We'll be back. Sling TV has something for everyone. All your favorite shows on your favorite channels, all right at your fingertips. What you watch is up to you. It really just depends on what kind of mood you're in. So if you're looking for sports, Sling's got you covered with pro and college football and basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, racing, and so much more. Sling also has reality TV, so you can keep up with the latest gossip with today's hottest shows on channels like TLC, Bravo, MTV, and more. And don't forget about news. Get up to date with today's most trusted sources like MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News. Feeling adventurous? Explore thousands of movies and shows on demand. So what kind of mood are you in? No matter your answer, Sling has what you need. Getting Sling is easy. Sign up and start watching in just 5 minutes. You can stream on any device, and you can record up to 50 hours with your included DVR space. And the best part, you can pause or customize your subscription at any time. So check out sling.com for special offers. Sling, the TV you love for a price you'll love. Try it today. I have 10,000 pictures of my kids on my phone, but no idea how I'm going to compile all of them into an actual story for them. Artifact completely solves this problem. At the end of each year, they create a narrated video yearbook about each of my kids. Artifact sets me up with a professional interviewer to talk about my children throughout the year. I add photos wherever I want, and the whizzes of Artifact edit it all together into a video yearbook. It's easy, fun, and affordable. The grandparents absolutely love it. You know what? One day, this is going to be an amazing gift for the kids themselves. You might remember that Artifact is a longtime sponsor of this show, and they still do life stories of older family members. But now they have a product for parents like me, watching my kids grow up way too fast and wanting to hold on to those memories while they're fresh. You can sign up to try it for yourself for less than $9 a month when you use my code STAPLES at checkout. So go to heyartifact.com/kids and enter the code STAPLES to get started. That's heyartifact.com/kids and enter the code STAPLES. Welcome back. I will correct my error from early in the show. ServPro remains the sponsor of the First Responder Bowl. Whew. So this is Memphis and Utah State. Memphis, a team that got okey-doked in a bowl game last year. They went to Hawaii for the Hawaii Bowl, and then Hawaii pulled out.
Stop saying it like that. It's
Hawaii.
freaking me out.
It's getting worse.
Yeah,
It's getting more dramatic.
Just say it like a tourist, okay? Like, come on.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
We going to Honolulu.
Yeah.
All right.
You're the guy that wears the lei around his neck at the airport, right?
That's right. I will know I hand out the lays. So these lines, by the way, brought to you by our pals at BetMGM. Memphis is a 7.5-point favorite against Utah State. Memphis, I remember there was some heat on Ryan Silverfield in the middle of the season. They had 4 consecutive conference losses, and 3 of those were by 1 possession or less. Or, well, 1 possession, but, you know, a 1-point loss and a meltdown to Houston, a 2-point loss at East Carolina, a 1-touchdown loss to UCF. This is a better team than its record shows, is the point I'm trying to make. I think Memphis wins this game, and I think Memphis covers.
Who cares more?
If I got stiffed out of a bowl game, but still got a trip to Hawaii out of it, I think I'd care a little bit.
I think it's Memphis because Utah State was one of those teams that really fell off. Like, Ari, you were talking about the teams that like overachieved, that hit a win total that was not sustainable. Utah State was that team. So I will also take Memphis here, despite the ups and downs of the season.
We know what ServPro does, right? They're industrial cleaners.
No, they come to like get the water out of your carpet.
Well, yeah, industrial cleaners.
That's the same thing he said.
Yes.
I don't know
like they do
like
huge cleanup jobs.
Like it didn't happen. Like it never happened.
Yeah.
Like their first bowl game.
The dude that was Billy Bob Thornton called in the first season of Fargo. Yeah, got it.
Exactly. There you go. Perfect. That's exactly
That
what
is
they
funny
did.
because like when you the two things kind of mesh together because when that happens, you need somebody to get there quick.
Can I ask a quick side question?
Sure.
Ari, can you lean closer so I can read your hat today?
I wear
The
this one a lot.
breakers. Yeah, okay. All right. I just couldn't tell. I couldn't tell what it was. What's the status of our White Lotus hats?
Brent, there's a Fuddruckers in Phoenix.
And
There's like 4 locations.
Famously, there are no good restaurants in the greater Phoenix area.
If you take your wife, who has incredibly good taste in everything, and I love Fuddruckers. I say this as someone who adores Fuddruckers. If you take your wife to Fuddruckers, I'm going to be mad at you on her behalf.
Yeah.
It's
cute that you think I have a choice.
He would never.
All right. We move on to the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl. East Carolina versus Coastal Carolina. This is actually one where I feel like we can predict who cares more in this one.
Well, hold on. We have to guess the sponsor.
Oh, okay. Ticket Smarter. I think it's pretty easy.
It is an online ticketing company.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
Now, fun fact about the Birmingham Bowl. This is the first bowl that I know of where someone actually scored a touchdown while pooping their pants.
Do we know this story?
I don't know the story.
I don't
There
either.
was a Florida player, and they were wearing all white uniforms that day. They with the orange helmets, white jersey, white pants.
No.
And he was literally pooping his pants, or had just pooped his pants, while scoring a touchdown. There were a lot of screen grabs with circles of the brown part.
Why did he tell us this?
I don't know.
Because it happened in a bowl game.
I didn't need that information.
The funniest story of pooping your pants.
Oh, sorry. They had an orange jersey with the white pants.
Wasn't it?
It was the white pants.
It was Paul Pierce, right?
It was.
I just remember the one game.
It was not. It was Adam Lane, and East Carolina was involved in that game as well.
No, I'm saying the most famous incident of pooping your pants during a sporting event.
Well, Joe Paterno ran off the field at an Ohio State game a few years ago.
But he didn't literally poop his pants there.
He came
ran
back
onto
the field with different pants on.
That's different.
Okay.
Paul Pierce
called for the wheelchair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he did.
I mean, I feel for those people. You're out there and it's the heat of battle. I mean, it could happen.
So yeah, Adam Lane, I believe he was interviewed about it and said it was the best thing that could have happened.
So the team that you think cares is East Carolina then?
I think Coastal Carolina probably doesn't after Jamie Chadwell
Yep.
and company have departed to Liberty, and Grayson McCall's in the transfer portal. And yeah, I think East Carolina probably more motivated in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, by a good portion.
All right. Let us move to another bowl game named after the sponsor. That's right. If you want us to talk about your sponsor, just name the game after it.
Please don't.
Wisconsin, a 3-point favorite against Oklahoma State in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl.
All right. So guaranteed rate, I assume, is hotel room booking or plane.
I'm going to say it's a mortgage company.
Yeah, I was going to say mortgage company.
When in doubt, it's a mortgage company. And guess what? It's a mortgage company.
Oh.
It's 1/3 of the bowl sponsors are mortgage companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to be a little more creative. So sue me.
Creative guaranteed rate. What is that? Guaranteed rate 6.9%.
I thought it was like it's the rate that you're booking, the lowest guaranteed rate for a hotel room.
That would be cool.
That would be good. Yeah, they're like Priceline or something like that.
Yeah, it's a better name. I think it's a better name than Priceline.
Yeah, guaranteed rate. Make sure that you're paying twice as much interest as people who bought the house 2 years earlier.
Can we put this comment from Craig Smith on the screen about this game?
Can. Absolutely.
I feel this way also about this game. Craig Smith says, I realize that all bowls are exhibition games, but Wisconsin, Oklahoma State feels like an NFL preseason game.
Agreed.
Yes. We're talking about who wants to be here, who wants to play in this game. Neither of these teams. Neither of these teams. I think if you could go to both rosters and say, if you don't have to play this game, it's okay. Like, we'll let you not play it. I think you might have that happen. I know that younger guys will play, and there's, and
do we even know who the starting quarterbacks in this game are going to be?
No. But you have a coaching transition on one side. So I guess, you can kind of maybe
You have
audition or get some-
continuity with Oklahoma State at least on that.
But half the
front.
team went into the portal.
Hey, can I ask you
Yeah.
guys a journalism question? You
Sure.
remember back in the day, like when we first started, the three of us, like for every game, they had like a 400-word bare bones AP preview.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do they not do that anymore?
They do. Those are
Okay,
all
'cause
over the
I feel
place.
like I'm having a
all the
hard time
gambling, all the gambling sites have them.
Okay, because I went
I
to go
don't-
find the AP preview for the Oklahoma State Wisconsin game, and I
Well,
don't even
not
think the AP writer cared.
Not the AP
I-
preview.
Yeah, it's like other sites, like Athlon maybe does one, and
Okay.
some of these
Yeah.
other sites.
And
But I don't
all
know.
the gambling sites.
I don't know if the AP does, but I will say, like, I think again, if you asked and had the option not to play this game, I think both teams would not want to.
Where's
I
it
mean,
located?
too many things else happening.
This
Is this
in
one of the
Phoenix.
Florida?
This
Oh,
is in
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Oh, it's in
Oh.
Phoenix. People want to be in Phoenix.
This
They
is-
can go to
this
the
is one-
Fuddruckers.
Isn't this the one they play in the Diamondback Stadium?
Maybe.
I don't know, but they can go to. There's Fuddruckers.
It's always the game. I think this is the game that used to be the Insight.com Bowl, right?
Right. Exactly.
And this is the game where they're like, when you check in for the Fiesta Bowl, the people who do the media at the Fiesta Bowl are begging you to cover it. They're like throwing out press passes around like Halloween candy.
So,
and then people go cover it, but no one writes about it. They just
This
want the
is-
press box food.
this is going to be a game where it's like, if no one talks about it, and no one previews it, and no one covers it, did it really happen?
If a tree falls in
Oh,
the forest,
this game's gonna do a solid rating. It's gonna beat every good NBA game that night. It's gonna beat every good live college basketball game. It's gonna beat most of the scripted dramas on the three networks. Watch this game. Will
No,
draw
I'm
2
sure
million
it
viewers.
will. I'm sure it will. Because it's Wisconsin and it's, it's going to draw. But like, okay, for example, how many players went into the portal from Oklahoma State? Wasn't it up to 9?
A lot,
It's a lot,
yeah, including Spencer Sanders.
which you
So-
don't see very often. The entrenched starting quarterback hop in the
I mean, he
portal.
wasn't that entrenched as the season went on. So,
Eh,
Oh, but they've got a good freshman quarterback. I'm going
Yeah.
Oklahoma State here.
all right,
Garrett
all right.
Rangel. He came from Frisco. I went up to talk to him. He's a cool kid.
Listen, if
I
I,
would-
can,
I would-
if I
I
can
would-
have points, I'll take the Cowboys.
I will also, because Wisconsin's in a total transitionary.
And Wisconsin has, with their entire offense, has had spurts of Iowa offensive performances too.
Oh yeah,
They-
Well,
they've been
including
pre-
against Iowa.
Against Iowa, I thought that they were way harder to watch than
Also,
Iowa.
Wisconsin's special teams, especially in that Iowa game, real shaky.
They were really frustrating to watch because they couldn't do all the things that you typically see Wisconsin do.
Right.
And-
it felt wrong.
Graham Mertz was so inconsistent that there was just no threat of a vertical passing game. And
Is there-
so like you needed Braylon Allen to like break off special runs to stay in the game. But they were a very frustrating team this year.
Is there any possible way that Graham Mertz goes to Florida and is awesome? Like, could that
Probably
happen?
not. I mean,
Probably
anything's
not, but we
possible.
have seen players who really struggled at their previous spot be awesome in their second. So
that's true.
there's hope.
You just made all of Gainesville smile.
I'm a hopeful romantic. I also think that Texas A&M might still be back. So we can talk about that on the next show. though.
That
We have
that
a-
sounds like another podcast for a full off season. Let us move on. UCF is a 3-point dog to Duke in the Military Bowl. That would be the Peloton Military Bowl. Hold on, let me give you Peloton's tagline on their website. Fearlessly solving the toughest national security challenges.
Hell's
Together,
going on here?
we do the can't be done. What this means is we design drones that can kill you from 5 miles
Yeah,
above
like,
your
these
head.
are-
That's
this
what
is-
this means.
This is the
And-
equipment involved in like covert operations.
And
Yes.
and they're sponsoring this bowl because
It's the
there's-
military. bowl.
There's
Right.
civilian application to this.
No, it's the Military Bowl. They would like to curry favor with the military.
They want to advertise for people who might want to watch the Military Bowl out of patriotism.
Yeah.
Also, I actually think this might be one of the better bowl games.
Oh yeah.
Very
I think
excited
gonna be
for
a
this
fun
one.
Yeah.
Can I ask
Super fun.
a real question though? That I'm not. But like the UCF Knights, was that like the military for the people in the medieval times?
Well, yes.
Have
so
you-
technically, there's a military playing in the military bowl.
There's also a devil.
They're also the UCF Knights are also involved in the argument over which college football program owns space. They have claims to space, which you could then extrapolate to the Space Force. if we're
Mhm.
trying to tie
And who
them
owns
to the
space though? Houston?
Need to talk to Chris Vanini about this. He has gotten in the weeds on it. There's like 4 different programs that can play in
Arizona's
space.
one of them, right?
No, it's like Houston, Rice, UCF. I think Navy got into this, right?
Right. Well, I mean, they did train most of the pilots.
Right. So I
who
think there's
went up flying into space.
I think there's at
So-
least 4
The
that have
biggest
a
claim
fair
to
claim.
fame for Arizona when I was in school was that they were like the university that was like most responsible for the Mars rover.
You know what's closer
Sounds
to
like-
NASA than those other schools?
Houston?
UCF. Well, yeah,
What?
Houston. Mission Control's in Houston.
Isn't
Where
UCF
they actually
really far
Cape
away from
Canaveral.
NASA?
Cape Canaveral,
Ari,
Where's that?
Florida.
40 minutes from UCF's campus.
So all the research happens in Houston, and then the application of it happens in.
Mission
Yes.
Control's in Houston. That's where you wear your white button-down short sleeve shirt and horn rim glasses and talk to the people in space. But you actually shoot the people into space from Cape Canaveral in Florida.
Is there like a scientific reason for that, or is that just that's where they decided to put it?
It's probably the land was
Are
cheap
you-
and available.
Are you worried that it wasn't put in Phoenix?
This kind of strikes me as a
Or
North
Tucson?
Carolina versus Ohio who invented flight.
First in flight, baby.
It's exactly the same, but it's which college football program owns space. And anytime Purdue is also involved. In it.
Purdue has like
But which
27
team was the team that
astronauts.
had the space
Every-
uniforms?
That
Everyone
would be
does it.
UCF. UCF has the Citronaut uniform.
They did the Citronaut, which by the way, they should just be the Citronauts. It's the best name, and it would be so much cooler.
Is space
but-
closer to Gainesville or Orlando?
Orlando.
All of
I just
these
wanted Florida to get
places
involved.
have done space uniforms, and that's when the debate comes up. And then Chris Vanini has to be an arbiter, so we need to have him next week come on and
Yes.
at least explain
owns space?
who owns space.
Okay,
Elon
so-
Musk owns space.
So Duke does not own any part of space, but do they have a chance in this game? Absolutely.
I
Mike
think the Blue
Elko.
Devils own the land in the opposite direction.
That's exactly right. So Mike Elko, one of the best first-year coaches.
Yep.
UCF though, really doing the right things under Gus Malzahn. Like Houston, their last game as a member of the American, they're headed for the Big 12. I am going to take the Knights. Especially giving me points.
I'm going to take the Blue Devils. I have been very high on Duke since last offseason when I went there and visited with them. I think Riley Leonard is potentially going to be one of those quarterbacks that is sneaky good. I think his season was a huge his performance was a huge reason why Duke overachieved and had 8 wins this year. But I think we're going to start talking about him more and more. I think people assume that the defense would get better, which it did, but obviously they also made some strides offensively. I wrote in their state of the program in the offseason that if they are close to or make a bowl game, that would be a super successful first season, and they go 8-4. So I
Yeah.
just think everything is rolling. I like the way that Mike Elko built his staff. I like the way that he built the roster. And so why not finish it off 9 wins?
We got to pay some bills when we
I
return.
just learned a bunch about space in the comments over here.
6 games to go. All Power 5 against Power 5. We will be right back. I imagine you are making some New Year's resolutions right now as you listen to this podcast. I imagine some of those involve personal fitness. You want to lose some weight. You want to get in shape. We all do. Let me tell you about a few of my friends. Adrian Williams, Jess Sims, Marcel Dinkins, Andy Spear. I've never actually met any of these people. We did have Jess on the podcast, though, because she's on College Game Day. But these are people who push me through workouts regularly, who push me to my limits and past them because they understand how to motivate me. Where are they from? They're from Peloton. They're Peloton trainers. And after a while, they just start feeling like part of the family. If you're not already part of the Peloton community, now is the best time to start because you can get up to $200 off accessories like cycling shoes, heart rate monitors, and more when you buy a Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread, and up to $100 off accessories with the purchase of a Peloton guide to take your workout to the next level. So make this the first step toward achieving those fitness goals that you're going to set for your New Year's resolution that you wouldn't normally keep. But I'm telling you right now, if you join the Peloton community, you're going to have people holding you accountable. You're going to want to work out. And you're going to keep those resolutions. So get started now. All access membership is separate. The offer ends December 25th. It cannot be combined with our other offers. See additional terms at onepeloton.com. Welcome back. We move on now to our all Power 5 on Power 5 action. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl. This is an easy one. What does AutoZone do, guys?
Rips you off for auto parts.
That's not nice. What if they advertise with
kidding.
us?
You think I've ever stepped foot in that place?
Are you like a Pep? You're like a secret Pep Boys guy that I don't know about, or what's
I thought Pep
on?
Boys was a pizza place.
He just wants to go to Quick Lube. I'm sure that they can sell what he needs there.
Well, he wants to.
There's nothing in there.
They will change his oil for him, and Ari doesn't have to find where his oil plug is.
What, are you a dude that changes his oil in his own garage by himself? Seriously?
No. Why would I
thank
mess
God.
up my garage for it? I've changed my own oil before just to make sure I know
Of
how to
course.
do it.
Yeah.
But no,
Why would you ever have to know how to do it?
in case you need to do it.
yeah. And you want to be.
I also
prove
like to
that
know
you're
how
independent.
All right. I also like to know how things work. So
Can we talk about the game because it's actually the battle for the name Kansas?
Kansas versus our Kansas.
Yes.
KJ and Rocket are playing. Give me the Hogs.
Oh,
KJ and
man.
Rocket are playing. Give me the Hogs.
Fine. I feel like I have to go with you guys. I love Kansas, but they, you know.
You can take Kansas, so we can make a bet if you want.
Jalen Daniels did promise a bowl to his mom last year, which is pretty amazing.
Fun fact about this game as well. Remember the Kansas fan that I profiled?
Yes.
Cam?
Yes.
He was the one who was holding the I am sad sign at the game when they got beat by Baker Mayfield a few years ago. He was there when they stormed the field and became bowl eligible, and they are bringing him to the bowl game. Lance Leipold called him, and they're bringing him. He's going to do team activities with the team at the bowl. So I am super excited for that. Maybe I'll just ride with
You
Kansas
know what?
and
I'm
the
actually
Jayhawks.
going to flip my pick to Kansas.
There you go. They do want. I mean, if
I'm gonna
there's
take the
any
Jayhawks.
team that wants to be in its bowl game,
This is the
this
team.
is it.
All right, I'm going to take them. Good
I'm on
juju.
Kansas.
Okay.
KJ and Rocket are playing. Give
Stars
me the
don't matter.
Hogs.
Just give me the Kansas.
Give me the Hogs.
Give me the Kansas.
The Kansas.
I also
All
like
right.
am baffled by somebody who wants to change their own oil still, but we can get to that at the end of the show. if you want.
That's
Speaking
an off-season topic.
of baffling, North Carolina is a 14.5-point underdog to Oregon in the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl.
Let me
We
guess
don't-
that one. Let me guess
Okay,
it.
go ahead. Go ahead, Nicole.
It's a credit union in San Diego County.
Yes, we have a winner.
Is credit union a nice way to say bank?
Yes.
It's a type of bank. It's a certain type of bank.
But
Yeah.
yes.
Do we
be
know
a
the
member.
distinction between those two things?
You have to have a membership to it. Sometimes you have to be part of a certain population to be a member of a certain credit union. Like you have to be a teacher, or you have to be in the military or related to a military service person. Like, it depends on.
I love learning things on this show.
Yeah, there you go.
I've liked North Carolina in every single game they've played this year because they've been underdogs in almost all of them. And I'm obsessed with Drake May and their offense, and I've lost a lot. So give me North Carolina 14.5. That's 3 scores in a bowl game. We don't know. Oregon's down on themselves. They're worried
Are
about
they?
their recruiting class. I don't know.
Everybody's
worried? Are they worried about the recruiting class?
No, they just celebrate. I mean, Dan Lanning did post a video of him smoking a cigar indoors last night, and then one of the 5-star prospects they flipped away the following day. Peyton Bowen is signing with Oklahoma.
Probably not because of his feelings on tobacco, but yes.
It is actually official, by the way. Oklahoma announced it. So they
Yeah.
got the letter. They
Yeah.
got the paperwork.
So I don't know if you guys
and
know
Peyton
this.
Boeing apologized on Twitter.
It's
for
my
the okey-doke
understanding,
and the hat
guys,
fake and all that stuff.
that he filled out his national letter of intent to Oregon,
yesterday.
and he filled it out wrong
Oh,
on accident.
oh,
Like I think he put the wrong thing on there somewhere. It might have been the date or the name wasn't illegible. There was a problem with the form. So because they couldn't certify the NLI, they sent it back to him, and that's when he ghosted him and changed their mind.
Ooh.
So if he would have filled it out correctly the first time, he'd be going to Oregon right now.
yeah. Because once you fill it out correctly and they get it and they certify it, it's
fine.
And they
Binding.
might, sometimes I just read how does Ari not know what a credit union is? He is hopeless. Yeah. I mean, depending on what your vision of hope is, I guess. What were we saying? But like, think about the chance.
You're talking about the game as well.
But the chance of that happening, though, like if you accidentally, unintentionally filled it out wrong,
that sounds like something you do.
But then it changes the entire course of your life.
Yeah, like if you sign up for a bank but meant to sign up for a credit union.
That reminds me of there was a guy named Jonathan Colon who was an offensive lineman from Miami who signed with Miami and Florida on National Signing Day 2000. Like both faxes were sent in, and basically the people who administer the National Letter of Intent system were like, well, the one that got there first is the one that counts. So you're going to Florida.
Well, why did he do that?
There was some chicanery with a guidance counselor, something going on, but he ended up playing. I think he ended up playing there all 4 years, so it all worked out.
Okay, so on this game, it's a big number, and it's clearly overreacting to how both
North
of these
Carolina
teams looked, right? And how North Carolina looked at the end of the year. I think that this is going to be a good game because both quarterbacks are going to play, right? I assume they're both coming back to college, so they would both be playing.
Drake May might transfer to Alabama. We're not sure about that yet.
Stop.
Soon we will hear from every coach in America talking about how much money Drake May was offered to leave North Carolina.
Yeah. He's got heart, man. I'll give him.
They all university. It's gonna be $80 million by the time it finally.
Did you hear that Mac Brown hired somebody who specializes in footwork?
So
it's not exactly what he said about Chip Lindsey, but it's
okay. So I think that I'm also going to take North Carolina here because we're talking about how bad their defenses played this year. Have you watched the Pac-12? The defenses were very optional, so I think they will be very comfortable in this game.
This could be one of those games where North Carolina's down 28-3 at the beginning of the second quarter, though.
But it also could be a game that they come back and it's it's 28-all. So I'm going to take North Carolina too because it's so many points.
So many points.
That's
so many points.
Like and maybe it's one of those, if it stinks, stay away from all of them, the bowl games. But so many points. All right, we move on to the TaxAct Texas Bowl. Ole Miss is a 3.5-point favorite against Texas Tech. TaxAct. What do we think TaxAct does?
It probably files your tax returns, and they tell you that it's free, but it's actually not once you file them.
Well, I think you got it. Tax preparation per company.
I watched the whole thing about tax companies and how they fool people into thinking that they're returning their taxes for free, and actually it's never free, and people get dinged like $20 at the end of it every time. And there's actually like a free tax, like a government subsidized tax portal that you can actually do it for free.
It's called IRS Free File.
Yeah, and there's like a certain special URL for it that you have to get to the one that's free, because even the IRS does it. They do.
We are learning so much on today's show, guys.
That's exactly right. This is the most educational college football podcast in the world. But can we learn who will win between Ole Miss and Texas Tech? Texas Tech was shockingly good in its bowl game last year when they were like Donovan Smith was starting and all the other quarterbacks were hurt and they were playing Mississippi State, but Mississippi State had a bunch of people out, I think, because of COVID. Ole Miss has Quinshon Judkins coming back. It feels like they're kind of stable right now. I think I'm going to take the Rebels in this one.
If you think about caring, can you just picture Joey McGuire talking about this is the Texas Bowl in the locker room?
Oh, yeah. He'll sound like McAfee talking about the Vegas Bowl.
Yeah, it's important.
But he'll mean it.
He'll mean it. It's important. They also won 3 games to end the season to roll into this. I think, Ole Miss really, and again, we can talk about talent versus, how much teams care. But Ole Miss was pretty disappointing after they ran out of things to play for, right, this season. I just think that, Texas Tech is building something. You mentioned, everyone loves Joey McGuire. He is a wonderful person to talk to. He is incredibly excitable. He will make them motivated to play in this game, close to home, et cetera, et cetera. I am going to take the Red Raiders.
Who you got, Ari?
I'm going to take the team that cares about Texas because their whole roster is from Texas and the Texas Bowl.
And their coach is a former Texas high school?
So you think caring about Texas makes you care about this game?
You been here before?
I've been to Texas, yes, but I feel like caring about Texas does not make me
There is
wanna
no state
win a game more just because it's being played in the home of the Houston Texans. Like, this is where Davis Mills throws balls.
There is no place on the face of the earth where people are more proud to be where they're from or where they live than the state of Texas.
False. New Jersey.
Yeah.
We need a New Jersey Bowl. Can the Grab Ass Bowl be in New Jersey?
Well,
What about Atlantic City?
we've got one that is several miles away from New Jersey next. Minnesota, 10-point favorite against Syracuse in the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. That's right. Bad Boy Mowers has not given up on bowl sponsorship. They used to sponsor the Gasparilla Bowl, the former Beef O'Brady's Bowl. What does Bad Boy Mowers do? They make lawnmowers, which I wonder if they got Bad Boy Mowers mowing the field at Yankee Stadium.
They've got a little attitude though. They mow lawns with
do.
a little attitude. Okay, so I have covered the Pinstripe Bowl, and before my previous coldest I've ever been was covering the Pinstripe Bowl. Before like today, as it's negative, feels like negative 30 degrees where I am right now. The Pinstripe Bowl has an outdoor press box because it's a baseball stadium.
Right.
It was Iowa Boston College, and Scott Dockerman can also agree to this. That game was miserable, and it was so cold, and they gave everyone like a hat and maybe gloves, and my fingers were going numb and were freezing so bad that I had to go inside and watch the game, the remaining 3/4 of the game on TV.
Kirk
Anyway.
Ferentz versus Steve Adazio.
It was very close to where I lived, so I went.
Magical.
It was a magical night, the coldest I've ever been physically until today. I am going Minnesota in this game. We talk about teams that care. Syracuse fell off.
Doesn't.
They
Does
did not
not.
care. Their best coaches have been poached and are elsewhere. In Minnesota, you know who's going to be able to do what they want in cold weather in New York in December? The team that wants to run the ball. And the team that runs the ball really, really well when Mo Ibrahim is healthy. So I'm going to take that team.
Is he playing in this game?
I think so, right?
I don't know. I thought he was like a legitimate NFL back and was entering the draft this year.
Well, he is, but that
I
doesn't
think
mean he's not going to play.
Yeah, I think he is playing in this game.
Okay.
I believe he's playing. So
he is a tough person to Google, although I'm just realizing there's also a global
very
climate
famous one.
Yes.
Yes. So
climate change guy.
But I believe he is still scheduled to play in this game. So yeah, Skyuma, row the boat. Give me the Gophers to cover the 10. Another big line in this next game. The Cheez-It Bowl. This is the former
which Cheez-It was this?
This is the former Champ Sports, former Russell Athletic, former in a different city, CarQuest, former Blockbuster Bowl.
Okay, so I think Cheez-It sponsors this one.
Correct.
And they make delicious cheese crackers.
Square crackers. I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach. I hate that commercial so much.
I do too. But is this one? So I think both of the Cheez-It Bowls are doing that NIL deal where like a player can stay in a room that is bright
hotel
orange.
Rooms. Yes.
Yeah. I would like to hear more about that.
I've got a flaming hot Cheez-It take if you want to hear it.
All right,
Go
let's hear
for
it.
The reduced fat ones are better than the regular ones.
Ooh.
I'm shocked to hear you say something like that.
They're
What
like
sort
just
of chemical are they using? For
I don't
that?
know what it is, but they're like not as greasy and they're lighter and they taste better to me. I don't know.
There you go.
I also
Maybe
like
they
baked
them.
Lays better than some of regular potato chips. too.
I also like.
If you like baked
better.
Lays better than regular potato chips, then you would like the reduced fat ones.
You
Try
are
them next time.
psychopaths. Give me kettle cooked dripping
Kettles
No.
are great.
oil.
I like them
Baked-
all,
but
but
baked
baked
Lay's-
Lays are good.
They're very good.
Boy,
Very good.
I feel like I don't even know you guys.
Okay, so this is a big number. This also feels like it's overreacting to the way a team looked at different points at the end of the season. I mean, I think Florida State looked good. Florida State is like, I think we all are impressed with where the program is, the state of the program. Jordan Travis, but that's a big number. I'm
Sneaky
just a little
Heisman candidate next year.
Okay, so
Ooh, could be, of course.
Oklahoma's best running back, starting offensive tackles, and one of their best defensive linemen have opted out of this game. Florida State, I believe almost everybody's playing. I think that's what their number's coming from.
Give me the Seminoles.
Yep, give me the Seminoles.
Yeah, give me the Seminoles too. They feel that while they're not defending their state like the Texas Tech Red Raiders are defending the state of Texas,
In Houston.
Sunshine State pride does not extend that far. I just think they're probably going to be the better group of people on the field that day who happen to be playing that day. All right, we move on. Texas and Washington in the Alamo Bowl, which is not sponsored by Alamo Rental Cars. Can you give us a hook, Amari?
The pride of the state of Texas. Gotta win the Alamo Bowl.
Remember the Alamo Bowl. This is the Valero Alamo Bowl. We know what Valero is. It's a gas station.
Yes.
Okay. Run-of-the-mill drive past it gas station, but yes.
Well, in that state, because there's a lot more going on in that state.
I like Texas in this game. I actually think this is going to be, again, one of the better bowl games of the postseason because the quarterbacks are going to play, and that's kind of the bare minimum. That's all I'm really looking for. I think it's awesome that Michael Penix Jr. is coming back for Washington. We love the storyline that is going to be developing at Texas here, now that Arch Manning signed in his paperwork with him and Quinn Ewers. I know Bijan's not going to play in this game, and we're crushed about that. And
no Roschon Johnson either.
And but as Mustardson, we own it. It's in our fridges.
True.
But I still think Texas. I just think the program's in a good place. They just signed a really great class. I feel like Sark is feeling good. And you got to remember the Alamo Bowl.
We do have to remember the Alamo Bowl. But I think Washington kind of wants to be here too. I think they're pretty excited.
I think they both do.
Yeah. This could be a very fun game.
Here's another thing I like about this. No matter who wins, we are going to overreact to this team.
What if Quinn Ewers has a huge
this
game?
sets them up for a national title run next year?
100%. Dark horse CFP team, like 100%.
Well, I'm ready. I am ready to overhype. I am ready to overreact. Give me the Huskies in this game. You guys take the Longhorns. And look, everybody enjoy these games because we're getting closer and closer to a time where we have a long, bleak offseason with no college football. But right now, we've got 2 solid weeks of bowl games. Just enjoy it. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Everybody have fun. Happy Independence Bowl. Ari.
There's a Fuddruckers in the Dallas area. I just found it. It's in Rockwall.
Well, now I know where you're having dinner tonight.
Well, can I ask you, have you been to Fuddruckers lately?
I believe they've fallen off completely under new management.
So that you can't. There's no burger bar anymore. Like you used to go in and make your own.
Oh, I think they still have the condiment bar. I don't know if they bake their own bread anymore. That was kind of the
okay. I'm gonna figure this out for the show.
Why don't you go and report back to us?
I think I will.
Okay. Great.
All right. We're gonna have a special emergency episode when Ari gets back from Fuddruckers. Nicole, just stay in the basement.
I'll be ready.
We'll talk to you later.